solving equations. In your packet, in your binder, you should have this information. You're to copy down the information, be creative as you can, and let's solve these problems. Let's start with page 1. We got to know what we're looking at and dealing with. Okay, a variable. A variable could be an alphabet, which is a letter, an object. Okay. So this X right here, this is considered a variable. Okay. A coefficient. A coefficient is a number in front of a variable. They're always multiplying. Coefficient, a number in front of a variable. Oh, that's why I like pencils. Okay. They are multiplying. Little things I know we know, but just in case, just a refresher. Okay. This 5 is considered a coefficient. Now, a constant, we consider a constant just a number. A number by itself. Okay? 4 and 24 are constants. Just numbers all by themselves. Okay. Now let's solve some one-step equations. Okay. One-step equations. Remember, to undo subtraction, to undo addition, we use subtraction. We do the opposite. Okay. To undo subtraction, it's addition. Okay. To undo multiplication, division. To undo division, multiplication. We're going to solve these few problems. Okay, just a refresher. We're going to solve for the missing variables. X plus 5 equals 30. That means I have to get X out by itself. So since 5 is positive, always look at the sign in front of the number. That means it's addition. So we're going to use subtraction. We're going to do the opposite. Negative 5. Subtract 5 from both sides. X. This would go to 0. Cancels out. Right here, signs the difference. Subtract, take the sign of the larger number. Therefore, X is equal to 25. Okay. Example 2. This time we're solving for A. That means I got to get A all by itself. Since the sign in front of 10 is a subtraction sign, that means 10 is negative. We're going to do the opposite by adding 10 to both sides. Bring down everything A. Since we canceled each other out, that goes to 0 equals to 12 plus 10, 22. Okay. So example 3. 5 and K are multiplying. So to undo multiplication, we use division. We divide both sides by the coefficient. Divide both sides by coefficient. Remember, that's the number in front of the variable. Okay? So we're going to divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 go to 1. That leaves K out by itself. And then we divide 35 by 5. Our final answer is 7. Okay, just a little refresher. Now, a fraction represents division. Fractions represent division. Okay. And to undo division, we multiply both sides by the denominator. 3 is the denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. Okay. These will cancel out and go to 1. I'm left with b is equal to 30. Okay? Remember how to do that. Page 3. These are two steps equations, okay? Step 1, you have to add or subtract. That means we can't touch the variable because the variable is busy with other numbers until we get them by themselves. We have to isolate it. Then we multiply, divide by the coefficient. It all depends. Let's look at example 1. To get 3x by itself, okay, we have to get rid of that negative 8. How do we get rid of the negative 8? By doing the opposite. We're going to add 8 to both sides. Okay? That's step 1. Bring down my 3x. It's equal to 10 plus 8 is 18. Now we have to multiply, divide by the coefficient. Since these two are multiplying, I'm going to use division. X is equal to 6. Okay. Example 2. Can I do anything with the variable first? No. I have to get rid of this negative 10. I do that by doing the opposite. By adding 10. Okay. I bring down my a over 4. My 10's cancel. It's equal to, signs are different. Subtract, take the sign of the larger number. Now, since this is a fraction, I'm going to multiply both sides by the denominator. 8 is equal to negative 8. Okay. Example 3. Looks a little busy. Okay. This is a fraction. The first thing I have to do is multiply both sides by the denominator. In this case, my denominator is 3. They would cancel out on this side. Negative 4z is equal to 30. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. Z is equal to negative 30 over 4. But I know I can reduce this. This becomes negative 15 over 2. This is my final answer. Okay. Multi-step equations. We have 5 steps. Sometimes you don't have to use all the steps, but sometimes we do. Step 1, distribute. Step 2, combine like terms on each side. Move variables to one side. Move constants to the other. Multiply by denominator or divide by the coefficient. Let's begin. Do we have anything to distribute? No. Do we have to combine like terms? No. But we do need to start moving a variable or a constant, right? Since the variable is on this side, I'm going to move the constant forward by doing the opposite, subtracting 4 from both sides. So I have 3 over x, 4. Count, these 4's cancel out. It's equal to 6. My next move is to multiply both sides by 4. 3x is equal to 24. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Therefore, my x is equal to 8. Okay. Now, example 2 is a little more involved, but we're going to get it done. Do we have distributive? Yes, we do. We're going to distribute as negative 2. That means multiply each term by negative 2. Okay? Negative 2 times a negative w is a positive 2w. Negative 2 times a positive 2w is a negative 2w. Negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6. That is equal to 36. Okay? Next, we combine like terms. I see that my like terms are the 2w minus 2w. They're going to cancel each other out. Okay? This whole thing goes to 0. So they're gone. I'm left with 6 is equal to 36. But this is not true. 6 is not equal to 36. Therefore, there is no solution. Equations with variables on both sides. Now this is a lot interesting, and we will use this a lot, especially when we start working with congruent figures. Okay, congruent, same measure, set them equal to each other. Very important. Okay, step one, move the smaller variable to one side, move constants to the other side, multiply by denominator or divide by coefficient. Same thing we've been doing. We're going to solve for the missing variables. But in this case, we're going to state whether it's one solution, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. Okay, let's solve this. My smaller variable is 5k, so I'm going to subtract 5k from both sides. Oops. Okay, this would cancel out and go away. I have -2 is equal to, right here, signs are different. Subtract, take the sign of the larger number. I'm left with 3k. Don't forget your variable. And bring down my +4. Now I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. I'm moving my constants. Integers are very important. -2 and -4, signs are the same. Add and keep the sign. -6 is equal to 3k. Divide both sides by 3. Therefore, -2 is equal to k. That means I have one solution. Okay? One solution. Let's try this one. Both of these are the same, so I'm going to have to subtract 2w from both sides. They're going to cancel out, leaving me with -10 is equal to -9. That is not true. So when they're not equal or have a balance, that's no solution. Okay. Now let's go to example 3. Okay. Subtract 4z from both sides. They both disappear. Now 2 is equal to 2. When we have an even balance, and you can clearly see these equations are the same, that's when we have infinitely many solutions. That means I can plug in anything, they would balance out. Now, we in a multi-step equation with variables on both sides. These equations are a little involved. Now, we can clearly see that this is a fraction right here. To get rid of fractions, what do we have to do? Multiply both sides by the denominator. But since it's more than just a number, it's an expression, let's put parentheses around it, okay? Now we're going to multiply both sides, keep the parentheses, and this will cancel out. It will go to 1, and we're left with x plus 3 is equal to 2x minus 3. Now, we're going to follow our steps. We have distributive property over here. We have x plus 3 is equal to 2 times x, 2x. 2 times a -3 is a -6. Now we're going to work and simplify. We're going to move our smallest variable, 1x. Although you don't see whenever you see a variable by itself, there's an invisible 1 in front of it. Always remember that. So I'm going to subtract 1x from both sides. 3 is equal to, signs are different, subtract, take the sign of the larger number. I'm left with x minus 6. Now I'm going to add 6 to both sides, moving that constant. 9 is equal to x. We are done here. Like I said, it's a little involved. Action. Okay, we're about to do this last problem. Okay, The first thing, do we have distributive property? Yes. 1/3 times 3x, 1/3 times a negative 12. That's on this side. On the other side of the equal side, when they talk about both sides, they talk about both sides on the equal side. We're going to distribute a 2 into x minus 8. Now we're going to simplify. Basically, for this one, we're going to divide everything by 3. 3 divided by 3, well, another way of looking at it. 3x over 3 minus 12 over 3. Okay, so that becomes x minus 4. Don't forget your plus 5. We just simplifying. Now we have 2x minus 16 minus x plus 17. Now we're finna combine like terms on both sides. X, since we are like terms, signs the difference, subtract, take the sign of the larger number, is equal to like terms 2x minus x. That's x. Negative 16 plus 17, signs are different. Subtract, take the sign of a larger number. We can stop here because clearly we are the same on both sides, right? Therefore, if I subtract x on both sides, I have 1 is equal to 1. I have infinitely many solutions. Okay. Now, you're to complete, this is your turn. You're to try to complete these. Oh my gosh, I have not this one because I'm missing a number. I do this one in class. Okay? And you're responsible for the back page. Except for this one, I'm missing a number. Okay? See you in class.